Hello, this is MC Knight. Welcome to the Dragon's Lair. This is episode 38. As you can see, I am on top of the pillager outpost. It's down just a little bit from my base. And I have been talking about the bad neighbors almost since the first day that I moved into this area. Today, I'm getting my revenge on them. Today, we are going to build an ominous bottle farm. And then, after that, I am going to build a raid farm. Because, as you can see, my levels have gotten up to 242. And I really don't want to lose all those levels if something happens to me and I die. So, in this chest, I have everything I need to build the ominous bottle farm. These potions of healing are, well, just in case anything goes wrong. And then I have a bunch of dirt because I'm going to need to flatten off some of this land. So some of it I'm going to have to take away. Some of it I'm going to have to build up on. And I need to take away all these structures that are down here. So this is going to end up being quite interesting. I'm not sure how this is going to go. I'm going to hope that I don't die before I get this ominous bottle farm built and the raid farm built. So what I'm going to do is while I am working on this, I am going to play some music, and I'm also going to catch you up to speed on some things that have taken place and what's been going on. And well, I do want to break in here because this is where the first problem came in. I fell down in that hole, and all the pillagers came down after me, and I died. So I quickly ran back to the house, pulled out my backup gear, and put that on in hopes that I could get to the hole and retrieve all my belongings. I do want to update you on what's been happening. It's been a very, very long time since I put a video out, and a large part of that is because my youngest son moved in with me back in probably late November, early December, somewhere around there. I think it was in November. And so I have a small house, and I have a two-bedroom house, and my oldest son lives with me. So he had a bedroom, I had a bedroom. With my youngest son moving into the house, we did not have a bedroom for him. And so one of my top priorities became to get a bedroom for him, and the only option I had was to renovate my attic. And so him and I started working in the attic. We started framing out for walls. And we drywalled, we laid the floor. We've been doing a lot of work, and so that's taken up a lot of my time. There's been some stuff going on with work. I have been working a lot of 10-hour days, and so basically what was happening most days was I was working 10 hours, coming home, and then going up in the attic and working on my son's bedroom. So I didn't really have much time even to play Minecraft. Now in the last month or so, I have been able to get on and play at least a little bit. And so I finished the Ice Highway to go to the Coral Reef, the Mushroom Island, and the Ocean Biome, the Ice Ocean Biome. So I do want to show that to you, hopefully at some point, maybe in this video. Now you may have noticed in the recording here that I was placing down the dirt to make the surface for where the villagers spawn, a nice flat area, and then that abruptly stopped. Well, what happened was I was going along perfectly fine, and then the pillagers came, and I tried to shoot them with my bow, and it wasn't shooting any arrows. And for a moment I thought, okay, well maybe I don't have infinity on my bow, because I picked up the backup bow. And I thought maybe that doesn't have infinity on it, and that's why it's not shooting. So I thought, well, I'm going to fly away. And I tried flying away, but I couldn't. And then I realized that something was glitching either with Minecraft, the server, or I didn't know what. So I quick logged off. But when I logged back on again, yeah, I died. So I have the Omnious bottle farm done. So what I want to do is I want to go down and I want to collect all the Omnious bottles and the banners that are in each chest. Seems like some of the chests have a whole lot more than others, but I guess that's just the nature of the game. But I want to collect everything out, and then I want to go up into the AFK spot for about an hour and see what kind of results I get. So I was just waiting for daylight to come. It's actually been a little bit over an hour, and I am going to tell you, I'm real curious to see if this farm worked or not. There's a part of me has my doubts, but we're about to find out. Let's take a look. Oh. Well, this isn't very promising now, is it? So let me tell you, when I got down and started looking in the chest and found 2 Omnious bottles after 1 hour of AFKing, I was not happy. The video that I used from YouTube was from a channel called Brian Craft. And on the description it says 450 plus Omnious bottles per hour. Well, I most certainly didn't get that, and I was not real happy. And so I thought, well, how can I make this better? So what I did was I came back to the farm and I spawn proofed 10 extra blocks away from the area that is set for the pillagers to spawn on. I went back up and AFK'd for a while, and it just wasn't really a whole lot better. This guy's gonna try to disturb me while I'm making this video. Anyway, so then I thought, well, how else can I make this better? And that was when I thought, okay, well, let me do a little bit of testing. So what I did was I went into spectator mode. Boy, that was almost bad there, wasn't it? He almost knocked me right off the scaffolding. I went into replay mod, and you can see how these guys are spawning, and they're not heading towards the iron golem. Well, what I realized was I needed to change something. Well, let me back up. So when I first went up, I went into replay mod and I went down, and the pillagers were only spawning in a small area outside of the walled off area. And I thought, well, it doesn't seem like they're spawning very much. With replay mod, basically I could be up here, and then record it, and then come back and move around in the video to see just exactly what was happening. And so I realized that there weren't too many pillagers spawning. So then I thought, well, what would happen if I drop the AFK area down 5 blocks? So I did that, and anyway, they were spawning better, but then they were also spawning out in the outer areas, and they just weren't seeing the iron golem, and they weren't going after him. And so I forget exactly. I think I at this point I have it about 3 blocks slower than what the video said. The video said to put it up 128 blocks. I dropped this down, so now it is 3 blocks lower. And you can see that now all the pillagers are spawning. They're all seeing the iron golem, and they're all rushing over. So I want to show you something. After I made that change, I AFK'd for about 1 hour, and I think if I counted correctly, I was probably somewhere around the neighborhood of 250 to 300 ominous bottles. Still not quite what the video advertised, but it was a whole lot better than 2. So I AFK'd for about 10 hours. And so now I've got this whole shulker box full of ominous bottles, this shulker box full of ominous bottles, and this one is almost full of ominous bottles. And so with that, I think I need to build the raid farm, which I have everything in here that I'm going to need for the raid farm. But I think before I do that, yeah, my equipment, everything's a little bit low. And I'm not happy being at 21 experience levels. The other thing is when I went back to the cave to get everything, I got everything except for a pair of my diamond boots. So I want to spend all my gear, and I want to make another pair of diamond boots, and then we're going to head off to make the raid farm. I am here at the coral reef. I built this portal here quite some time ago. And so if I fly over this direction, it's a little bit of a distance over this way. Thinking I can find it. There is a village on the other shore. And so I know that I can get a villager from there. And so what I want to do is, I know in the video for the raid farm, it says to turn your render distance down to 8, and you need to go away from any shore. So we're going to go in here, we're going to go to options, video settings, and then we're going to turn our chunks down to 8. Apply, done, back to game. So now we're going to go, and I'm going to try to get away from any land. We still got to go a little bit more. And this actually looks like it might be a decent spot. Maybe we'll... Oh, I see land over there. Let's go this way. Yeah, there's a shipwreck over there. Okay, so I am not seeing land anywhere. And so I think actually I can place a block here. And so anyway, what I want to do is place up a couple blocks. And then I want to hit F3, take a screenshot so that I remember where this is exactly. All right. So this is where I am going to build the raid farm. the raid farm is completely done. The only thing is, I am missing one trapdoor up there, but I'm hoping that that's not going to make too much of a problem. So I got Omnious, or the Bad Omen, just plain the first level Bad Omen. I don't want to try this with the Bad Omen 5 right off the bat, but I do want to give this a try and see what happens. So, here we go. Yep, no totems yet. All right, got my first totem of Undying. We're going to go ahead and stick that in there right away. Yes, I got the hero of the village. So, and let's see. Well, I do want to sleep. Let me get some dirt here, so I can place my bed. So I'm thinking what I need to do before I'm going to totally count this as a victory. I think I want to try at least one raid with the Bad Omen 5. I think this is the one where, yeah, put that back in there. All right, let's see how bad this can get. Okay. Raid victory. All right, so I want to go ahead and pack up. Put a bunch of this stuff that I got in here. I'm going to go by what's most important first. You want to grab those bottles, and I want to grab the spider eye. And let's grab some of the saddles. All right. So after testing, it seems like it's working pretty good. I think that's where I'm going to end the video. I do thank each and every one of you for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you have a good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever it is for you. I hope that you enjoyed watching me build the ominous bottle farm and now the raid farm. I will catch you next time, and until then, I'm MC Knight.